what if God wants to do something else in our life to celebrate the good that day? And oftentimes what I find is that he's asking me to pursue a relationship. So I might start my day by sitting down at my desk, right on the other side of this camera that you're watching, and I'll say, Lord, silence the enemy, quiet my thoughts, give me the mind of Christ, and show me what you need me to know for today. And I would say 90% of the time, it has to do with a relationship. It doesn't have to do with a task. He's showing me something. He might highlight Christi. He might highlight one of my kids specifically. He might highlight, hey, I want you to go and I want you to make breakfast for everybody. And I'm going, okay, God, but that's interrupting my work schedule that I had planned. But I always find that when I say yes to those things, there is a much more joyful part of my day. It just goes differently.
I won't lose hope in the night when the fire's growing dim. I'll just let go and I'll try. Help me walk this road and find my way back home. Find my way back home. Find my way home.
Welcome back to the Famous at Home podcast. We are delighted to be with you. I've got my wife, Christi, back with me this week. Welcome back.
I'm so glad to be back. I'm refreshed. Thanks for letting me go.
You're welcome. Christi went on a trip. I don't even know if I explained that you were gone.
Well, I wasn't here. I wasn't here.
But you were sick too. You weren't here when I recorded, but you were also sick too.
I still sound the same, but like sort of like an 89-year-old smoker, but I feel so much better.
You're getting there. You're like an 84-year-old smoker today.
Yeah, exactly. I'm aging backwards. But I had so much fun. And Josh like took care of the kids like a champion. I always hate people like, oh, is he like babysitting the kids? I'm like, no, he's fathering them. But
I am fathering them.
And can I just say too, I left without preparing an iota of anything. And I just honor you for that.
What do you mean?
Like some people like feel like they have to like make all the meals and like
mercy,
leave out all the schedules and the play.
No, I enjoy it. In fact, I was in a meeting today and we were going around and the person who started the meeting said, hey, what's your peak of the week? And my peak of the week was that I got to play games with the kids because they love board games. I love board games and we played a lot of board games.
I like them less so.
And
it was the perfect time for you to do it.
Yeah. And I also love, the other peak was you coming home.
Yeah.
Like I love that reunion when one family member's been out of town and you get to come back and there's a high expectation of like just seeing everybody.
Okay. Micah like together. Ran because I had to cancel my flight because my ears were still so plugged. I couldn't fly. So I had to rent a car and drive home. So I dropped off the rental car and my sweet boys were there waiting for me. And Micah like, thank goodness the place was closed because he sprinted
through the parking
lot. It was so sweet.
He did. I said, buddy, do you want to make a sign for mommy? And he's like, no, Dad. He goes, no, Dad, I don't want to make a sign. I just want to give her a hug.
Aww,
that's what he said.
honey.
And then he sprinted and just gave you the biggest hug. And then you build up these reunions. And then the other reunion was we had an elbow to the face with the other kids. And that was kind of.
I know. They still did run.
Tears.
They ran to the car, and then there was an elbow later.
But reunions are amazing. Like when you're apart from each other for any length of time and you come back together, I just love that. And
I felt so refreshed, and like even though I was not feeling a hundo, and I got one of my friends sick, so I felt bad about that. But it was so good, and I haven't been gone. I haven't done that in a long time.
And it was seamless. I mean, it genuinely was.
Yeah.
And last week, so just for those of you who are aware, if you're new to the podcast, we just come out of season 4. We talked about the people who shape us. We had our parents on and everything, which was pretty cool. If you go back and look at season 4, we are entering into season 5. We'll be starting that here next week. And last week I came on, just talked about loving your marriage. And today is kind of a continuation of that a little bit, but we are kind of in this in-between.
But isn't that symbolic of what everyone's kind of going through right now as school year is wrapping up?
Yeah, it's like a transition.
Unless you're in Canada or some of the other, maybe other
northern
countries
states.
too. Yeah,
well, it's
maybe
northern states
too. because they go through end of June.
Yeah.
That was always me. But we here in the South are closing up school. And so I feel like it's this transition season. Like things are wrapping up, which is a lot. Like it's busy, but it's also like what's coming. And so we kind of feel like we're doing that with the podcast too.
Yeah, we're doing that with the podcast. Got a new season coming up, and just really updating kind of where we are in life. And I feel like, for us, it's like, it's wild because you talk about this, and I'm like, man, I even like today I tackled Costco for us.
Okay, actually, we should probably talk about this.
Like you talk about this, like I'm like,
Josh,
I can do these things. Like this is
went to Costco.
This is a team thing.
Okay, what did you text me though when you walked in? You were like, I want everything.
Could buy literally everything there. One of everything. Yeah, maybe not some of the food. Some of the food's pretty nasty, but like, I mean,
it's pretty great.
It's a pretty cool place.
It's like Hunger Games, but
and
it's
I've
pretty
been
great.
there. I've been there. I mean, obviously, when we've had a membership before, and when we've done holidays and things. But today was my first real day in there by myself.
Babe, you did so good.
Thank you.
Wait, that was terrible.
Fun.
High five.
But hey, we're
you did so good.
But
thank you for doing that for
me.
me.
Think about, I think about
energy.
People were asking me to, and we've had questions about this on homeschooling, school, that sort of thing, and I genuinely believe, so we do homeschool. We take 1 year, one child at a time, and we both do it. You take a majority, but like even today, today, I've been taking, particularly our oldest, I've been really entering into his world.
You do a really good job with him.
Doing some language arts and some things. And so, but I realize it does pull me away from obviously doing work, and it pulls me away from all these things. And I was actually, I do Marco Polo with coaching clients and other people. And I was doing a Marco Polo today. It's so rare that I'm by myself that I get to do these. I have to find time or fight for time to do it because we're with each other all the time. Mm-hmm. And there's a joy obviously that comes with that. There's also a sacrifice that comes with that because we obviously have just thing after thing after thing after thing. And throughout my workday, I have to also plan, schooling and him coming in and going, Dad, I need this, I need that. But at the same time, it's like, this is beautiful. Yeah. And I enjoy it so much. And, why was I going there? Because there's sacrifice in this stuff. And I think though, what's been awesome for us is watching the evolution of our own marriage and our own family through the years. I was talking last week about a marriage that we love, and I've watched why that's happened. And I think the reason that it's happened is because, number one, our own hearts have healed, but it's me pursuing your heart. Mm. Like you didn't have to prepare anything because I already know what you need to thrive. And, I'm by Costco today. Hey, what if I just stopped in real quick and, did what we needed to?
I can't tell you what
but
a
it's
gift
like, it's
was.
that constant thinking through how can I serve the other
that
I think has led us to this place. And this is what we want to offer for you all, because this is our heart, is to have families whose hearts are revived and who are emotionally healthy, and that you're famous at home, that you love your marriage.
Yeah.
So with that said,
what?
Well, let's just talk real quickly. Let's just, before we get in, we've got a couple offerings.
Oh, I was like, wait, what are we saying?
Well, Tender and Fierce.
Yeah.
Christi decided to open up Tender and Fierce again for the summer. Yeah. So there is a new Tender and Fierce starting a cohort. We were only going to do 3 cohorts in 2025, and we opened up a 4th.
Guys, they're filling up, and it makes me so, I can't tell you. It's just so exciting. So and for please, if you are interested, I did not know if summer would be hard or good, but moms are really excited about a summer cohort. So I'm pumped for it. So we did open a summer one. We will be doing a retreat in the fall, which is in person, south of Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah. Those details are for those that have gone through Tender and Fierce. So if you are interested in coming in person to one of the most transformative, incredible things that I get to do, it'll be in November. You can sign up for the summer cohort. You can also sign up for the fall and attend the fall retreat. So either of those, you have 2 to get in if you want to come to the retreat. And I just I actually want to start to share some testimonies on here, because we'll share them on social media sometimes. But I know there's a lot of people that are even on social media.
For those who are new to this or they've not heard of Tender and Fierce before, can you just give a little bit of an idea of what it is?
Yeah. So Tender and Fierce is everything that I wish that I had 20 years ago. It is a 8-week live coaching cohort. So it's done in a group. I do one-on-one coaching. However, I realize so often we're wounded in relationship, but we also heal in relationship. And this allows you to go through it with a group. You can be as engaged or as private as you wish. But we go through this 8-week cohort together, and it is the basic building blocks, and it builds week by week by week. We do body-based, or somatic is the word, and spiritual experiential practices to heal at a body level. This goes to deeper places. It gets to the roots of where we feel stuck and we get hung up. Even in traditional counseling, which I love and I honor and I edify and I send people that way as well, that gets to the meaning, understanding your story. This gets to a deeper level of we can understand our story. We can understand, but we don't know how to change. We don't know why we continue reacting that way to our kids or a husband, why we feel harsh, why we aren't gentle with ourselves, but we actually are called to be tender in heart and also fierce in our protection, in our intercession, in our the way we bring the kingdom of God onto the earth. And so if you are feeling numb and disconnected, if you are feeling confused and frustrated, fearful, anxious, if you're walking through seasons of loss and grief, this is for you. If you are walking through just seasons of, yes, we deal with motherhood, we also deal with women in single seasons, women who are married, women who are walking through loss and divorce. It does not matter the season that you are in, but we do just ask that you come without preparation. There's no bracing. There's no need to present or perform. That's the stuff we're putting aside, and you just get to show up as you. And I pray that it becomes something you can just receive. And I'm going to read, I pulled up a testimonial here because we now have in the hundreds of testimonials, and it is, they feel actually so sacred. I have their permission to share. But sometimes I feel like it almost exploits it, and I don't want to do that for them. But I also want, for those of you, if you're listening and you're like, I don't know if that's for me. I think often hearing someone else's testimony and their experience is the thing that causes it to click, oh, that sounds like me. So this woman said, if you would have told me a year ago that I would be completing the Tender and Fierce cohort and showed me this woman sitting on the other side of it, I honestly would have laughed and never believed it. After years of living in fight or flight, and most recently months of a hard move, had left myself, my marriage, and our family feeling overwhelmed, constantly arguing, and my heart embittered. Christi gave us tools to help us pull out of a state of fight or flight and really taught us to attune to our bodies, allowing us to be present. The way God uses her as she meshes the real physiological aspects of our nervous system with biblical truths and encounters with Jesus has truly transformed who I am to the core. I am forever changed and forever blessed by her teachings. If I could go back to that woman a year ago, I would tell her to listen to that whisper she's hearing, that this could be the thing she really needs, and jump into Tender and Fierce now instead of waiting.
So good.
Yeah.
And I've seen, I've literally seen the women who are transformed at the retreat last year, and would just highly encourage you, if you want to come in person, this is the time to do it. go through Tender and Fierce, do the summer cohort, and then come in the fall to the fall event. And we would love to have you. If you can't do the summer cohort, but you want to do the fall cohort, you could still make the fall retreat. Yeah. So I do want to clarify that. Links are in the show notes for how to register, how to sign up. If you have any questions, reach out to us at the contact page, and we would be happy to answer any questions that you have related to that. I'm excited for that.
I'm super excited for it.
Also, too, we are, again, we do coaching. This is what we do. So if there's any opportunity, the field experience also for men will be coming up again this fall. So you can check that out. This is my version of Tender and Fierce for men. And then we will also, do other types of coaching. So if you're interested in that, you'll see the link at in the show notes. Make sure you reach out, especially if you want a marriage that you love and you're like, I would love to love my marriage. That's what I talked about last week. This is what we love doing. So just reach out to us. There's a link there in the show notes. Let us know you're interested, and we'll be in touch on that. I wanted to jump in. I don't know what you have for today. I want to kind of
jump.
I just want to link to that. I want to switch over to what you are just talked about there, because we have what we do is we get some podcast questions that come in. And I would love if you have a question for the podcast. We'll put the link in the show notes for that as well. Jump in and ask us questions. We love coming in and talking about the questions that you have, that you're wrestling with in your own life currently. And there was one that came in recently that I knew I needed to wait until it was time to talk to Christi about it. Okay, here we go. This is it. We have been on this journey for a little over a year now. What I cannot get a handle on is how to have a soul that is at rest and stay on top of everything. I'm a 28-year-old mother with 4 kids, ages 8, 6, 2, and 3 months. So we got 4 kids under the age of 8. We're on a very tight budget, so we don't have the luxury of convenience, items, food. I am constantly, in all caps, doing. Yeah. And if I'm not, things quite literally fall apart. I can't figure out how to have the peace of God and simultaneously be as productive as I need to be to keep the ship sailing. Yeah. And I felt like, man, first of all, this was us.
Oh yeah.
It's been us. And I just want to start by saying I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your heart behind this question. And
there's that's reality, right? Like there is a reality of like, that is, an exhausting season. It is a season. And I know that's really hard, I think, to even hear. I just remember people being like, this is a season. It passes so fast. I'm like, I am barely surviving. That does not help me. Like, what do I do today? I'm actually going to say, like, what she's asking for is practical. Okay. So, and I hear that so often. I mean, literally, like, so many women, it's like, I just need practical advice. And that is why Tender and Fierce started, because the body-based practices are the practical. Like they are the things that actually shift you out. So she's living in fight or flight, meaning it's that constant state of there's never enough time. It's a constant state of threat. Like if I don't do this now or else, it's now or else, which she literally said, if I don't do this, like the world falls apart. And that's how extreme it feels. The reality is it could mean the house falls apart. It could mean, there's a mess. It could mean there's not dinner. It could mean, that it's not to the standard that we would all love it to be. And I get that. And I get, as a type A, firstborn, perfectionistic, I'm healed. Healing.
You're healing.
I'm not really that girl anymore, but
no, you're not at all. Absolutely not.
I do.
I just don't know that we all. Yeah, no.
That's why I'm like,
you're as close to arriving as you've ever been, I'll tell you that.
Oh, Lovey. Yeah. I mean, I got some work to do in other areas, but in that area, it feels very different than it used to. So I'm going to give a real practical suggestion of something that we do and teach in Tender and Fierce. because this is a constant state of overwhelm, which will eventually drop your nervous system into an emergency brake situation where you will feel numb, disconnected. You will not be able to feel joy. I'm not prophesying over you. I'm just saying that's inevitable because you have to crash. You cannot exist at that level of energy output and survive for long periods of time. So you probably get online, at night, all the kids are in bed and you mindlessly scroll. That is dorsal. That is a dorsal vagal shutdown response. We talk all about this in Tender and Fierce. So you start to understand, oh, I'm not crazy. I'm not lethargic. I'm not lazy. Maybe weekends, your husband comes home and you literally just binge watch a show or, scroll mindlessly or do, text on your phone because your brain is in such overload. And so
that's an assumption, by the way, that was not stated in there.
Right. But eventually she will get there.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I'm saying right now she's living in fight or flight.
Yeah.
The next step will be a shutdown because it has to come at some point. There has to be a break for a system that's that charged for 8 years, probably plus.
And if you eventually you will break.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's illness, whether it's
it'll come out in some sort of symptom. It could look like an anxiety, a diagnosed anxiety disorder. It could look like depression. It could
marital trouble.
Yeah. It could look like addiction of some sort. Like you're going to a substance. It doesn't mean it's a negative substance, but you're going to substances, sugar, alcohol, screens. You're going shopping. You're going to something to calm and soothe the pain. And I say pain, the intensity, like she has 4 beautiful children, like her life is a blessing, but the intensity is too much for the system. So all of that to say, that's a whole lot of backstory. I would suggest to you, sweet friend, move slower, which is going to feel counterintuitive in every way. But I would ask you to consciously move slower through that next task that you're asked to do. You
making sandwiches.
Yeah, changing the baby's diaper, making a sandwich. I want you to lay the bread out one piece at a time. It's going to feel painfully slow to a system that is trying to race through life because there is a proverbial bear behind you or a train, whatever like imagery makes sense to you, and you are trying to outrun it. That's what your body feels. And that's how, and you can hear in her sweet language, like that's how life or death this feels. Like the 4 children will die, like the family will actually implode. And that's literally how it feels. So I want to just acknowledge that's exactly how it feels to your body. And no wonder it feels like I literally can't take my foot off the gas of any of this or it all falls apart. And that is fallacy. However, the body believes that is fundamentally true.
That. Yeah. The body believes what we are through our mind. That's right.
Fundamentally true.
So the body's fighting itself.
Yes. Yep. So I'm going to continue to encourage you to move slow. And here's why. You're going to hate it at first. It's going to feel like pulling teeth. And then eventually, and I say eventually, I mean seconds in, 30 seconds in, 1 minute in, you're going to lay the bread down and you're going to notice what I just did. You're going to sigh. You might take a deep breath spontaneously. You may actually yawn. You may feel saliva in your throat, which is a sign that your whole nervous system is actually starting to shift and move out of fight or flight because your body's reaction is starting to tell it a different story. We're safe. We've got what it takes. I have time. I get to live this life and enjoy it. So I'm laying the bread down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I put out 8 pieces of bread for my 4 children. I think the babies probably are not eating sandwiches. One's for you, okay? And then I'm going to take a knife out of the drawer and I'm going to take it out slowly. And I'm going to put it into the peanut butter slowly. I'm going to take the lid off the peanut butter slowly. Like that's the type of intention I'm talking. And then you are going to like spread it on the bread, not like we're used to doing, but slowly. And I want to, it might take you 1 minute longer than doing it at the fast pace you're used to. And I guarantee it will start to change your life. It will change how you operate. And also, so for every one message your brain is sending down to your body is sending 10 back up. So you can say, I'm at peace, like peace be so. We can recite scripture. We can do all the things to try to tell us like, this is fine. I've got what it takes. I'm at peace. Like, Lord, I love you. Thank you for these gifts. Thank you for these children. And yet the body is sending panic messages back up. And it's no wonder we're living in a state of, it's really continual threat and overwhelm, which is what this is. And this is what I hear from moms. I mean, this is what I lived. Like I hit the bottom rung of life because my entire system was absolutely overwhelmed. And overwhelm is actually one of the most scary feelings because the body truly believes that the tidal wave that is required to survive, like literally coming over you, and you do not have what it takes. That's terrifying. That's not just like, I got to run fast. That's, I do not have what it takes. And that is not just a belief. That is the only thought pattern that comes when you are in those, we call them rungs of the nervous system ladder. We teach all of this in Tender and Fierce.
I got one more question that I wanted to address that came in.
I like the questions.
And I'll tackle this one at least to start. Regarding your episode in February, celebrating the good, you mentioned finding one thing that you will open you up to living in abundance. You mentioned your one thing is working out. Mine is too, in a very small window before the kids wake up. I have to wake at 4 a.m. to do this before work. Good for you. But what if you're interrupted and that window closes? Whoever's interrupting you at 4 a.m., good grief. But anyway, nonetheless.
Oh my gosh, we had 3 of them that used to do that.
That is true.
Not that I was waking at 4 a.m. to work out. But.
I heard these are the devil's tactics to interrupt your efforts. How do you recondition your mind when you don't get to do that one thing?
Great question.
And I actually responded to this email. I'm gonna to this question. I'm actually gonna read a little bit of my response and then tackle it and just add a little bit of commentary to it. I think it's a fantastic question. I have found, this is what I found, because working out for me is the same thing, but I have found that I cannot let it become an idol in my life. I have a workout regimen of about 4 days a week, and I have to stick, like I genuinely need to stick to that 4 days a week in order for me to feel like I am, when I'm missing that, I totally feel it. Like I genuinely feel the difference when I'm not. However, now when I miss a day, whether it's a child interruption, whether it's a schedule interruption or whatever that is, and I get 3 days instead of 4, let's say, I'm doing what Christi has said. I'm slowing down and I'm trying to pay attention. Is there a place that I can fit it back in? Great. If not, then okay, Lord, what is it that I need to know about this interruption? Could it be spiritual? It could be. I don't think the devil's behind every bush. It could be his tactic to throw me off, but I also have come to a place where I want to ask myself the question, Lord, what do I need to know about this interruption? Lord, is this something like, why am I so jammed up that I got interrupted to do this workout or whatever that thing is for you, that your schedule got thrown off in such a way? Because I have lived as a type A where it's like, I've got to get this, and this done. If there's any interruption to the schedule, my mind, and I still am this way in many ways where I'm like, I can be thrown pretty easily if the schedule goes awry. But I have learned to live in such a way to allow the interruptions as God opportunities. So Lord, what do you want me to know about this interruption? Am I supposed to do this? We mentioned at the beginning of the episode, I was in a meeting in another, about 20 minutes away today. And actually it's about 38 minutes away to be precise from where we live. And I was right next to Costco and I was like, oh, we need to come to Costco. I had a whole list of other things I had blocked off to get done today, but I thought I can save Christi time by taking this entire trip and taking the kids. And I can also knock this out, and maybe I could just do this. And Lord, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to know about this? And I really got the sense that he's saying, go to Costco, get it done. Just relax. You'll get the other stuff done. I'll help you get it done. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that thing. And I just try to make my daily walk with God a prayer without ceasing, and pray into and ask permission for what he wants me to be doing. And I just find that life is so much more an adventure that way. Now, when I'm not working out over a consistent period of time, then I start to beg God for it. And I'm like, okay, I need this, God. I need this help. But I find that he's giving it to me. So I also need that in order to feel like I'm at my best, to celebrate the good. However, what if God wants to do something else in our life to celebrate the good that day? And oftentimes what I find is that he's asking me to pursue a relationship. So I might start my day by sitting down at my desk, right on the other side of this camera that you're watching, and I'll say, Lord, silence the enemy, quiet my thoughts, give me the mind of Christ, and show me what you need me to know for today. And I would say 90% of the time, it has to do with a relationship. It doesn't have to do with a task. He's showing me something. He might highlight Christi. He might highlight one of my kids specifically. He might highlight, hey, I want you to go and I want you to make breakfast for everybody. And I'm going, okay, God, but that's interrupting my work schedule that I had planned. But I always find that when I say yes to those things, there is a much more joyful part of my day. It just goes differently. And then I try to find time to make up the workout if possible. So I think it's good. I'm going to address the question by going, is it the devil? It could very well be the enemy throwing you off. Could be. But I'm not going to attribute everything to that. I'm going to go, Lord, what do you need me to know right now? Is this an attack? And if it is, I'm going to silence the enemy right now, and we're going to get back to the task at hand. And I'm going to war for that. And by the way, I use prayers. I pray warfare prayers a lot. We had John Eldredge on a few weeks ago. I would highly encourage you to get Experience Jesus Really. We can put that in show notes today. There's some incredible prayers in there that I pray on an ongoing basis. I pray ahead of household prayer out of Wild at Heart. And I'm just consistently trying to pray against anything that's warring against us and our schedule. So I'm trying to be proactive with that in the spirit, and then allowing any interruption to be insight into, God, what do you want me to know about that? What do you want me to know about? Why am I so jammed up about it? What is the fear? What is the insecurity? What is the sadness? What is the overwhelm about? Show that to me. And what do you want me to know about that? To me, that's where I have come alive, is having that ongoing interaction with the Lord in that process. And that's where I get to celebrate the good then. So it's a great question.
It's a great answer. Can I just add something?
Yeah.
I think when we're told to pick up our cross, we want the cross without the suffering. We want like a crucified life without like the hard part of that. Like there's actually pain involved. And so whether it's from the enemy or not, I'm not discounting it. In fact, like that's where I get all riled up. However, how do you turn that around? Well, actually we see this as like suffering. So if we can actually enter into that this might be the gift of God, that I get to experience a little bit of his suffering, and that I can delight in that this is part of me carrying my cross. And like, I actually get to join with you, Lord, in like a small taste of what you have not just done for us, but also asked us to join you in. Pick up your cross, which means carry it yourself. Like there is going to be hard. And there's something about that dying daily that burns off for me this entitled sense of like, I'm owed my workout. I would love it. Like, let's be clear. And it does throw me, but it changes my perspective. If it's like, if this is part of my dying daily, I lost this today. Like, I picked up my cross. I followed you. And it changes my perspective of one from like connection with him and intimacy with the Father and pursuing him to one of like self-indulgent, I feel sorry for myself. And the I feel sorry for myself, I can get into just like everybody else. Like
Yep.
that's my,
Yeah, you can.
yeah, I really can. Like,
I testify.
I'm just being, I know what that feels like to such an extent that I'm kind of ticked. Like, I'm done. It ruins your life. Like, if you want to be miserable, feel sorry for yourself. If you want to follow Christ, die daily, and maybe see these things as this, I just get to partner with you.
Such a good word. I will say this too. Last week we talked about loving your marriage, or I talked about how much I love my marriage now. And
Thanks,
not that I didn't love it before, but I was leading with this. So I would invite you to go back and listen to that episode if you didn't. I was leading with this in an event where I was like, people ask me how I'm doing. I'm like, man, we're good. Like, I love my marriage. But the stuff that
I love my wife,
where we are at right now,
and I love my
loving
marriage.
your marriage, though, I think speaks to, of course, I love my wife, but it speaks to so much more than just loving my wife. It speaks to what we've cultivated.
And delight and the life
it speaks to the suffering that you've talked about.
Yeah.
We've been through hell.
Yeah.
We've been through the fire.
Yeah.
And we've been through it with the kids. We've been through it with each other. And on the other side of it, because we kept fighting and kept warring, I think we're experiencing the resurrection of that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key behind all of it is
because there is life.
How do you do that? Yeah,
right.
well,
I think I just want to say that too. There's life after the death, right?
Oh.
So just to say, this isn't just about us in eternal suffering. It's because of the cross that there is life after death. So this is actually
it's all life.
Newness of life. This is glory to glory life. So yeah, we die to these things, and it there's pain for a minute, and it's life after life after life. The fruit of it speaks, and the fruit of it is our joy.
At the end of the day, what was the great sin? They ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Yeah. It's all about, I want to get knowledge. How do I get more knowledge to do the next thing? But yet, the tree that we're supposed to be eating from constantly is the tree of life.
More life.
Which is the body and blood of Jesus Christ. And it's like he embodies that tree. And it's like, how do we keep pursuing him?
Yeah.
Because that's where that's where true life happens. And so, guys, Tender and Fierce, it's in the show notes. Check it out. If you're interested in loving your marriage, who doesn't? We would love to serve you guys in any way we can. In that regard, you can fill out the form in the show notes as well. And until next week, as we start season 5,
woohoo!
We hope that your heart is awakened and that you yourself find your way back home.
All the